even when I look back and where I worked and like why people used to ask me, why did you go into business? I'd be like, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, especially the first business. But I felt, and I don't know if you've ever felt this as you're working, whether you're living dead, you're alive, you're showing up, but you know, you can tell yourself you're not showing up. And I think it's our job to go back into our organization and start asking, in this environment, are we allowing the human and the purpose? Because people are there for a purpose. Yeah, and sometimes that purpose means they are there also for a season. Some people's seasons will be longer than other people. So the purposes have to talk to each other. It's not all about the organization's purpose. It works both ways. So the organization and the individuals are always feeding into the purposes of each other. So I think one of the most important things to whatever we tell people, this is your job. And I've learned, but they are not speaking because I'm perfect, speaking because of so many mistakes and realizations also made along the way. See, I've told you we're doing emotional intelligence, yeah? So clearly, yeah? But it's understanding, it's also, instead of saying this is your JD, it's saying this is what we have in mind, but what do you think you can bring to the table? Because I think I learned when I opened the door for that, even in my own way, a lot of things that I did not expect actually came out. And I remember along the way, one of the things I started doing when I realized that, and people are here for a purpose and there's something they can actually contribute, and treating people like people who can actually contribute at whatever level, I stopped chairing meetings. Because there's a time I used to come, we'd have team meetings, and I'm the only one talking. Yeah? And you go out and you think. So if you have a meeting and then it's only you who talked, or one person talks, and people go out and say, what a great meeting, because you had your own voice, yeah? I said, now, I'm not chairing meetings. In fact, these meetings can go on even if I'm not there. See, I told you my management style was of don't appear and see what happens when you don't appear. And I must admit, you need to try this out, yeah? So allowing for that, because as long as you understand, and purpose is not saying this is my aha moment. I went through many things and got to the aha moment of this is what I'm going to do. But purpose has been, just understand everyone is always in a journey of purpose, and whatever you're doing and however you're connecting with people, you've got to connect on that level. It doesn't matter how much you're paying them if you don't connect. Because we've also seen people who are earning a lot and they go to organizations where they're earning a lot less because of that, because of the purpose, yeah? Or they're working for big corporates and they go to a startup SME. Why do you think people do that? Where even their salary, they don't even know whether it's going to come or go. It's because of purpose. And I think as organizations grow, it becomes harder to continue instilling that sense of purpose. That's my first point, purpose. The next point is identity, yeah? As I said, everybody is a human being, and I want you to do an exercise with each other. Yeah, the person sitting next to you. Those in Centonomy who have done this exercise too much, don't cheat. Yeah? Talk to the person next to you about you. Do not say what you do. Do not say where you live. Do not say I'm a mother of 5. Do not say which church you go to. But talk about yourself. Don't say what you drive, by the way. Don't say about your home. Yeah. Don't say about which investments you have, but talk about yourself. What did you find yourself talking about? Huh? Your passion, yeah? What else? Personality. Values. What else came out? Your interests. How many times do we ever talk to people on that level? Of who you are, not your title. Yeah, because we said it's about human beings, and as much as for practical reasons, people do use titles, yeah, it's really about who is this person and what can I bring, what can they, if they're in purpose, what can they bring to the table when they use who they actually are. I remember there's a time we went to pitch with Joanne actually, we went to pitch for business from a bank. And that bank had been having someone do personal finance training for a while. And I think they did one of those things of it's in the tender, their procurements, whatever, are now saying get three suppliers. So we can, you know how it tick the box. And you could really tell, Joanne, do you remember? You could really tell that this was a tick the box moment, yeah? and they said this is how we could do it, and they were all dressed in dark suits. It was very intimidating. But we decided, what are we about? Us guys are about the conversation. So instead of let's go and tick a box on a form and have a one-on-one discussion, we cannot beat you in that game. Because the person you've been dealing with, who you've been doing this discussion with, they are better at that. But what do? We go and have the conversation, and we did like a 20-minute presentation where we talked to them, not as the people making a decision, but as individuals. We're talking to you about your spending, about educating your child, about that car loan that you're secretly struggling here even with your suit. Yeah? Then we got that job, and we've been doing training for that organization for years. And I said that it's because every individual wants that. Two people can be accountants, but that doesn't mean they're the same person. So I could be an accountant, and I'm very good at communication. So how you bring life into my role is give me, first of all, it's two ways. Even that, if you're the person, even you bring life into your role by understanding that I'm good in communication. So in the next meeting we go to, I'm not just going to read the P&L like everybody else. I'm going to bring that strength and highlight it, yeah? And then as for you, if you're in a position to give people the environment to do that, it is also your responsibility to now create that environment. When we teach the entrepreneurship class, because we go through this a lot, we even tell them the kind of people are you hiring because you think that's the person you should hire. For example, we tell them, let's say you want to get someone to do collections for you. Naturally, sometimes we think we should hire an accountant, yeah? But think about it, collections. What does accounting have to do with it? What skill are you after? You're after someone who can talk, negotiate, find out why the check is stuck, can get through all the signatories are away story, yeah, and bring to the table. So it's not necessarily an accountant. It's somebody who's good, but we've been wired to think in a certain way. And I think the environment we are in, sometimes when you see shifts like this is because I think it's not just about, there's so many shifts. There's the millennial shift, there's the economy shift, there's just the world shifts. And that shift is calling for people to think differently and start asking yourself, is it really the accountant who should do that, yeah? So when we zone down and start thinking, people want to be seen, yeah? What's the identity of that person? Do we get to bring that up? You will find people flourish in ways that you can't even imagine. The third thing I've learned is authenticity. Oh, sorry, before we move from identity. Now, when it comes to money, understand that it is identity as to why your colleagues or yourself are struggling most of the time. And I guess that's why when we train, we don't just train on whatever. We always have to go to the human angle. Because I can teach you budgets until, you can even get a budget on Google. I can teach you budgets until, the world ends. But if what is disturbing you is validation, yeah? I'm not getting, especially when people think the best of who I am is not coming out. Or I don't even know who the best of who I am is to bring it out in the first place. So where will I look for the best of who I am? Where will I look for it? In the shop, in the cars, in the watch I wear, in the phone I have. Yeah, that's why when I buy iPhone 10, and then 3 months later they have iPhone 11, I want to strangle myself because the best of who I am was also having the best phone. Yeah, best of me is equal to having the latest phone. But unfortunately, Apple is never going to say, since Waceke, you bought the latest phone, we are now, our purpose on earth has been fulfilled. We are shut so that you will forever have the latest. So just understand when people are, that sense of identity of individuals are lost, they will look for it in very unhealthy places. People are in bad debt because of identity. Yeah, I was at the bar, I don't have money, but I needed to throw the next row. So what do? I fuliza. Yeah, it's true. This is reality, what is happening, yeah? And then on the finances, because I'm trying to keep up that, I'm also going to look for, on the investment side, schemes that are about get rich quick. Yeah, I said people are millennials and whatever, but that get rich quick thing, it's not going to help you. Yeah, you can be millennially all you like, but get rich quick is not going to ever work for you, yeah? So when people don't feel, even ourselves, when we don't feel that sense of identity, we look for somewhere else. And that's why when Waceke was saying, even though, if that is your fundamental issue, even though I pay you 1,000,000 shillings, there's a car that will cost that much amount of money. It will be a cycle forever.